Hello, and today we are doing an FPL preview for game week number 28. That's right, it is the big double game week 28 with 8 teams doubling, including Chelsea, including Watford, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Southampton, Leeds United, Norwich City, who I don't think we're going to be wanting to touch, let's be honest, Newcastle United, and I think that's it, if I could do the maths. But anyway, it's an interesting week this week for sure. A lot of people selling Bowen. I don't know. A lot of people selling Bruno and Antonio. We don't talk about Bruno, no. But let's see what happens this game week. We're going to show you my team before any transfers made. It's looking pretty disgusting. I'm not going to lie. But let's make those transfers now. And we'll preview my players after that. Ramsdale, Foster, they're solid. They're a nice little double act. We're just going to roll with that. Tierney's got the double in 29, as does Van Dijk, but Tierney's got Watford this week. So, I don't know. West Ham's a bit more difficult for Liverpool. Digne doubles this week. Trent has got, obviously, the best assist chances in the whole defence. And Cancelo is just Cancelo. So, Van Dijk makes way. And I'll tell you why. Because I need a Chelsea defender. With their double, it's got to be Antonio Rudiger. Now, I'm so tempted to go James. I was on it for a long time, but now I'm being the coward that I am, going Rudiger, because it's just not worth it. Like, sure, okay, let's say he gets the attacking returns in one game from Reece James and gets benched in the other. But that's too risky. You know, Rudiger could always pop up with a goal. And I'd rather someone that plays both games. You know, let's say he doesn't do anything from an attacking point of view. He could still get bonus points if Chelsea keep clean sheets. But if Rudiger doesn't, you know, if James, doesn't play both games, then there's no chance of getting bonus points. So I just feel like it's worth going safe. Because sometimes when you risk it, although there is higher ceiling with James, it's like, let's actually have a ceiling to the house in the first place. So I think it's a difficult one, the next transfer I make. It's Willock or it's Coutinho. And I'm really tempted by Willock, I've got to say, with the double-double. But the second double is not ideal. Obviously, Chelsea and Everton in 29. But he's in great form. He's very differential compared to someone like Coutinho, who's fairly comfortably owned. And I know Coutinho could bang off, but you know, I've already got Dean from that Villa game. I'm going to be benching Douglas Luiz, even though he's got 2 games because he's bench fodder. So I feel like the most wise decision is Willock. Now, I know Newcastle aren't an amazing attacking team, but, you know, the fixtures this week are very good. Brighton, who are in freefall, and Southampton, who, you know, can be good on their day, but I feel like that could be decent for Joe Willock. He's just in a lot of confidence right now. Forget Villa's 1 win last week. I don't, you know, Coutinho's on set pieces, but it's one of those ones. Whatever decision you make is probably going to not pay off. But the fact that he's got an extra fixture, be it a harder fixture against Chelsea, I think he's cheaper as well. I save more money. Like, I could go for a Ramsey, but I think, you know, why not have the extra fixture and cheaper than Coutinho? It just makes sense. So Coutinho was the tempting one, but I'm just going to go for Newcastle and go for Joe Willock. And then the man up front, Mopai's got to go. I thought he'd be a good idea, but unfortunately that's not really worked. Well, I brought him in and he did the bits the first week. I was loving that goal he scored in the first week I got him. I think it was against Watford. That was a really good transfer in that double game week. But then, since then, Brighton have been pretty awful. And to be fair, I've not really played him much. We had him obviously on the bench for that Burnley game because we had a lot of players with doubles and Brighton had a single. And then obviously last week we free hitted and didn't include Mopai. So yeah, he's Brighton have not looked good recently and Mopai's looked quite quiet. Now this of course means he's now going to score a brace against Newcastle and Willock's probably going to do nothing in the same game. But no, I honestly feel there's something there for Chris Willock. I keep saying that, for Joe Willock, brothers in crime. But no, I think you need a better forward with a double game week this week, and it'd be nice to have a full set of forwards with doubles this week. So it's a bit differential. I'm not going Brozier. I'm going Che Adams. I just feel like it's one that could really pay off. Now, Che Adams' fixtures, he's got Newcastle and Villa. Now, obviously, you'd say, oh, well, you're playing Adams up against Digne in the first game. I don't care. They could both get attacking contributions. And Adams is nice and differential. Everyone's got Brozier, and Adams is actually in better form. So I think these transfers, based on form and fixtures for Rudiger, and the form of Willock and Adams, now Coutinho's form has been a bit patchy. I know he can be a bit more explosive than these assets, but form and fixtures combined in the perfect cocktail. And look how much money that gives me going forward, where, okay, if I get Coutinho, then it's about 1 million in the bank, but that gives me loads of flexibility. So I could get in a Son or a Kane next week and easily upgrade someone like Bowen. So those are kind of flexible options, and I think those are good transfers. And I think they will pay the -8 just this week as well. I think they will repay it because of the fact all these players have doubles this week. And not just that, but Willock's got the double-double. So let's make those transfers. Confirmed, locked in, love it. So Willock is in the midfield. The thing I will be struggling with is the benching headache, but we're going to probably be benching... Right, Willock's obviously going to come in, but who do we bench for Willock? I might bench Joshua King, and I know what you're going to say, that's a ridiculous decision, but he has been awful this season. Other than that Everton game and that Man United game, he's been absolutely car crash. So Saka in one game could outscore King in two. It's tempting to bench someone like Tierney or Saka just because of the fact King's got 2 games, but it's almost like King is so bad, he's just as good as Douglas Luiz, and I'm not playing him because I see him as bench fodder. So has it got to the point where King's form has been so bad, he's basically just the same as bench fodder? So by that respect, it should be the easy decision to bench King, but because he's a striker, it's almost like, oh yeah, well, Douglas Luiz is never going to get in scoring positions, but King might do. Although he did get hooked at 50 minutes or something against Palace. So is he nailed to start? Well, he's probably going to start, but is he nailed to play all the game? I don't know. It was always difficult with Watford this season because we've been awful for so much of it. And I know that Ramsdale's got a nice fixture, but you've got to back 2 fixtures. So with what I'm saying here, I'm kind of contradicting by benching King, but I just think none of these players are droppable for King, who's been on such poor form. We played him in the double for Watford in 26 and he did absolutely nothing. That was the week that Digne obviously only had 1 game. He's got 2 this week. So I think this is the right week to bench Josh King. And because he's got 2, I'm just going to put him ahead of Bowen because Liverpool is tough anyway and Douglas Luiz does nothing anyway. So yeah, that is my team locked in. Captaincy, though, is not locked in. Now, I'm very tempted by that man, Rudiger. And to be fair, if I'd have brought in Coutinho and then captain Rudiger, I'd have probably regretted not captaining Coutinho if he'd have done something. But I feel like Rudiger's actually the better shout this week. I think it's 2 clean sheets, hopefully locked in, some attacking threat from Antonio, and I think vice-captain, your big man, Mo Salah. Let's not mess about here. That's my team locked in for game week number 28. Let me just zoom out for you people so you can see it all in one. There it is. I'm liking the look of it. I'm not going to lie. So, Foster, 2 games. Okay, Arsenal's not easy, but save points. Did it against Manchester United. Got a clean sheet. You never know. Wolves, okay, that might be tough, especially up against Raul Jimenez, but he's got 2 games. He's made loads of save points in the past. He's still a cheap goalie. I'm happy to go with it. Defence, though, is a back 5, and it's not often I'll play a back 5 this season. So, we're feeling a bit, wild this week. Why not? Because the fixtures and the personnel are very, very tasty, especially for Rudiger and Dean. Those fixtures look really good for some attacking threat and some clean sheets. Hopefully Villa can keep it tight at the back. But obviously not in the first game. That'll be a Che Adams hat-trick. But hopefully in the Leeds game, that'll be no goal from Rafinha. And I just feel like those 2 defenders are pretty solid for this week. Tierney, against Watford, you could see a clean sheet there. So I really feel like benching King is the right decision. Cancelo, you can't really drop him. You can't bench him, in my opinion. I've seen a lot of people doing that this week, but it's Cancelo. Like, let's not mess around. Now, I was so close to getting Reece James. I know a lot of people have gone that bargain, but I'm just not one of those people. I'd rather play it safe, and if James bangs off, then I think, okay, fair enough. Next time I won't play it safe. Whereas if I played it risky and got less points because of it, then I can't really learn from it, right? Because what I mean by that is in the next week it happens, and I think, oh yeah, let's play it safe this time. That could just be getting in a worse player, whereas playing it safe is often to get in the best players. I'm not saying that James is necessarily worse than Rudiger, but you've got to kind of have a measured approach to your transfers, not a erratic one, which might be done by bringing in these kind of injury / rotation. You know, the Tuchel tombola. We know Rudiger's nailed, so that's simple for me. In the midfield, though, I'm liking it, to be honest. Salah, he's just Salah at the end of the day. He can do anything. Saka against Watford, obviously, he was at the academy at Watford, so he'll hopefully be looking to do it against his former team. And Willock, I just feel like Willock is in the form that we saw at the end of that 20 to 21 season. He's got back-to-back goals. He's loving life at Newcastle. Eddie Howe has made him a much better player, and Newcastle, they're probably looking safe. So I think this is a good Newcastle team right now, and this is a nice duty differential. Only 5% owned. You've got to do it, whilst he's under 10%. Adams, I think, is a nice little move. Against Newcastle, should get some joy, and Villa have not been squeaky clean either. But the thing with Digne is he's on set pieces, he's on free kicks. And Jimenez against Palace, I could see a goal there. Definitely could see something against Watford because we've been so leaky. So I hope you have enjoyed my FPL preview for game week number 28. As I mentioned, it's a bit of a unconventional team this week because we're bringing in differentials, we're captaining a defender, we're going big at the back, 5 at the back, and we're benching a double game week player, and not just a player, but a striker. You know, sometimes in FPL, you've got to have a little bit of fun, you've got to be a little bit different to get those, you know, gains on your mini leagues and your rivals, because they're not going to see it coming, and it's slap bang. If it works, your green arrow is going to be wonderful. And talking of green arrows, what a season we've been having. Look at this run from game week 15 onwards. Unbelievable. And I thought about the wild card this week, but no, it's not really the time for it. There's much better opportunities nearer that game week 36 where we can bench boost. And obviously I've got some bench fodder on my bench like Douglas Luiz where we wouldn't really want to be using bench boost. So yeah, I'm feeling good about this game week. Obviously a -8 isn't ideal, but I think, as I say, it can pay off straight away and we can get some points with some nice double game week players. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's, I think, the minimum you need this week, and it does the job, right? You don't have to go overboard for this double game week, but it does the job. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.